Ready for another round? It's Brewsday Tuesday. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
I just realized we don't have the bottle popping sounds. We pre-poured because we got 8 different whiskeys to try over here because we have Adam, the Stash, and Salty Stash joining us in Studio B here on a Brewsday Tuesday. So one round in, and the vote's been split between 80 and 90 proof. So basically, are you just trying to figure out which ABV you want to go with, or which proof you want to go with for? Will it be across the board, or are you making notes of, okay, this one we should probably go 90, this one we should go 80?
So what we hope to do is offer an event that people can attend where we'll have 20 to 30 attendees. And hopefully, you just reminded me, we need to make sure that it's blind.
Yeah, I would definitely go blind.
Yep. But we'd like to gather input from all those people as like a focus group, really, to say like, we like this one at 90 proof, like this one at 80 proof.
So we're like the guinea pigs of this idea. Okay.
Exactly.
And is this been set in stone? Can we say, where do people get their tickets?
No.
Okay.
So you can follow us on Facebook. We just got the bench samples put together.
This is Virginia.
Yeah.
There's so many holes to jump through.
Yeah. Not so much that. Just we've got a million things going on right now between the winery and the distillery and the farm, and so it's been hard to try to nail down the schedule. But hoping to do it like a weekday afternoon, so that I can secure a food truck.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So if we do it on a Saturday, it's hard to do short notice with food trucks on a weekend. So
wait, we could also bench trial food trucks.
That's a good idea.
Blindfold me, give me 6 tacos, I'm good.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So, okay, well, that's cool. So obviously follow Salty Stash on the social, and you can be up to date and how to get tickets and whatnot. When that
there will be 18 tickets.
Okay. So hot tickets.
Hot tickets.
So grab them as soon as you can. And again, follow the social because that's where you're going to find out.
Yes.
So what can you tell me? What's the makeups of this round here?
Yeah. So again, this is bourbon that we sourced from a phenomenal source. We did not distill it ourselves. We transferred it into brandy barrels where they sat for another 9 months and picked up a lot of that candied fruit, heavy vanilla note. This is a 36% rye bourbon.
Okay.
So it's heavier on the rye side, a little less corn. So you should have a little less sweet note from the less corn.
So this one is bourbon though?
Yeah.
So, but it's just more rye than the last one we had.
Exactly. Okay. Yep. And the two variables in your hand are just proof, so 80 proof versus 90 proof. Sometimes some of these bourbons actually benefit from going even higher. So you'll see some bourbons that are 93, 94, 97.
You can get the cask proofs that are way up there.
Yeah, it should be 115 to 120. Yeah. The higher the ABV, again, the more descriptors you should get in the aroma and on the palate. But a lot of people really struggle to drink high ABV alcohol unless you're around a lot of booze, like we said. But for me, it's still got a really great sweet character. You get a lot of that vanilla and oak and a lot of toffee and caramel out of it. But then you get a little bit of that little peppery rye, a little more zesty in your mouth.
I'm wondering if your palate's going to go the same way mine goes on this one.
The 90's more floral. Like I'm picking up, you stick your schnoz right down in the glass and
it should almost.
I'm almost getting like a little honeysuckle note.
Oh yeah, now that you mention it.
But I haven't tried the 90 yet. Smell wise, the 90 is the way to go.
Yes.
The 80 is delicious, but smell wise, 90 is you put that in a glass and that's gonna bring people over.
My mind and my palate leans towards the 80 on this round again, and I feel like it must coincide with the ryeness.
Yeah.
The ryeness, I like it to be maybe slightly watered down to that 80 proof for the smoothness to take off that little rye bite that's coming with the 90. That's maybe, I don't know. That's just my thought, and I wonder if I would have thought that before you said it, but once you said it and I tried it, I was like, yep, it makes sense that's why I'm leaning this way I'll mess around again. But or unless you pulled the old switcheroo on me and you did the different 80 versus 90 glass. But
I think the
I don't think
the
he's
90 is a
drinking
little
like
bit
that.
more astringent to me. Like it pushes more of the spit off my tongue, and it's a little bit hard to handle in my mouth. Like it's just a little bit more intense. Like the intensity of the 90 at this, I think is just it's not what I desire.
and I do also wonder what, because you brought up a good point about the room temperature, how we do have some ice. We could try it.
So
how that might affect it.
We need a thermometer in here. It's definitely hot.
It's
I can
getting
feel
warmer
sweat
as the
beating on my back.
show's
Black
going
was a
on.
bad choice.
I don't think the booze had time to kind of react to the room temperature, maybe in your glass, but this came out of a room that was 72 degrees. Okay, it might be a little warmer.
No,
But definitely as it warms up, it's going to change. And you noted earlier that if you chill your alcohol and drink it, it feels smoother, and it's because, like if you were to take the temperature of a proof reading with alcometer, basically it's a floating device that measures the specific gravity of the column of water and alcohol, and depending on how much alcohol is in it, it will float at a differing level.
Okay.
And then you have to take the temperature of the water and calibrate the hydrometer or alcometer. So if it is colder, the alcometer will read lower. Then you have to adjust the reading based on its temperature. So there's actually a little bit of science to
Interesting.
chilling
I
the
didn't know
booze
that. I
to
didn't know
make
that.
it. Yeah.
So what's the ideal base kind of temperature? What you should be measuring it, or do you just factor? It doesn't matter. You just factor it in.
Almost every hydrometer or alcometer that you'll encounter will be calibrated at 65 degrees.
Okay.
And then you will
Makes sense.
adjust it depending on the sample temperature. We like to serve our brain and tasting room at like 45 degrees because we found that a lot of people that came in to try the booze, it's not on the rocks, it's not watered down, it's 90 proof. We've got a lot of people that were really struggling to handle the
that higher
sample
temperature?
at 70 degrees. I mean, like little old ladies that were like gagging and they had to get a glass of water type of thing. And so when we chill it, we just find that people are so much easier. It's so much easier for people to handle.
But you mute so many flavors.
Yeah, I mean, it's not nearly as aromatic or flavorful when it's chilled. But I mean, when you have somebody standing across the counter from you, and a lot of people, they don't take the time to really acquaint themselves with the brandy. They just pick it up and kick it back.
Yeah.
And then you watch people gag and cough. And so that's unpleasant and not great for sales. And so we chill it and let people try it chilled.
Yeah. The people that are there, the hardcore ones that really want to try, like they can probably ask you, or like they'll sit with it and let it warm up because they know.
Right.
Yeah. You got to appeal to the masses.
They'll hold it in the palm of their hand.
One after.
Yeah. And
And swirl.
but what I find in this, I really enjoy the lower proof in this one because
Agreed.
it's just too intense at the higher proof for my likability. What we have found though is that my personal preference will mislead me. So there are a lot of products in the wine side and the spirit side that I just hate, or that I love, but the general masses don't agree.
Yeah. That's why you got to do the case study.
That's
why you got to do the polling and the benchmarking and the blind tastings to really get a grasp. And that being said, it would probably be ideal to get, I mean, I guess you probably can't control, or maybe you can control who's grabbing these tickets, but you might want a little bit of a variety of palates and ages and
Do a little
sexes.
survey beforehand.
Yeah.
So that's exactly right. So we've done this on the wine side for years. We usually have like 40 people come to a potluck gathering that we hold, and we will serve dozens of samples of wine to find what the masses like. And we only want one or two experts. We want a whole lot of people that have a medium
Casual wine fans.
Because the experts
right,
aren't
and then we want a few novices, right?
Mhm.
And of all makes and models, right? Because we want to sell wine to everybody. And so it is really important that the sample reflect the populace. So you're exactly right. We don't want 20 bourbon nuts
Yeah.
because they are going to select a product that they love, but that somebody who's trying bourbon for the first time may hate.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to find the middle of the road. It's exactly right.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like, it's nice to know a little bit about them. Like, do these people have 5,000 friends on social media that all love bourbon, or are they a curmudgeon that has 2 friends? Because it's an opportunity to find cheerleaders and champions for your product that will then go out and post and tell people about it. And so there's a multi-pronged approach here. And so, it's great for the customers to experience, also great for us to have their input, and it's also great for us to let them give firsthand
feedback.
Yeah.
Well, so a reminder: follow them on the social media, because this sounds like it would be a really cool event, and definitely follow Ironheart on social media too, because I didn't know y'all did that with the wine stuff. That sounds like something I need to bring my mom to. That sounds fantastic.
As I say, my wife doesn't even particularly love wine, but she loves everything Ironheart does. So I think there is a very calculated, I don't even want to say calculated because it makes it sound like you're a con man, which you are absolutely not. Everything you do is so perfectly designed to represent the consumer, but also to represent the New River Valley. And just bravo. I know there's been a lot of expansion on the Ironheart side. I am hoping Salty Stash has the same success, because it just kills me every time you bring something in, or every time I see something new from you.
Well, man, I sure appreciate it. We do the best that we can. I feel like we don't know what the hell we're doing most of the time. But
that might be the key.
It might be.
Well, you know what? Actually, I do
you
think
care about your community, so you care about your consumers. You're not.
Well, and the other thing too is, my dad he always said that the day you stop learning is the day that you die. And that if you're not trying to improve yourself and improve what you do, then why do you do it?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if you come into something and think like, well, there's nothing else that I can learn, or there's nothing else that I need to know about this, then I think that you're a fool. And so, we try to approach everything with an open mind, and we still learn every day. And I really honestly believe like I feel like a novice at everything we do, whether it's grow fruit, make wine, because there's a lot to learn still.
Yeah, it's never growing,
Right.
or never ending. So speaking of, all right, what do we got? This is the last round then, huh?
Yeah, so
What's
this
one?
is my personal favorite. I really love
The best for last. I like it.
A weeded bourbon. And that's what this is. So we've got one finished at 80 proof, one finished at 90 proof. I have an insane sweet tooth, like we were saying earlier off air, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the weeded bourbon's got that really great, smooth, sweet character. I shorted you on you.
Oh yeah, come on now, don't do that. Don't do that. I was gonna say, if anything, this one needs a little extra splash.
Face.
All right, yeah, I'm really. This is. I'm.
So this got a little extra special love that I want to tell you about.
Please do.
Before or after we drink.
I said I don't want to tell you about because it's like the secret weapon.
Whew.
But it's got another oak additive in there. It's a trick from our winemaking side that we've used, and so it's got some other oak chips that have been added that have a fantastic, smooth, sweet character that I think impart the flavor that reminds me of a stack of warm pancakes with butter and maple syrup. And so I think that it has done a really fantastic job with changing this bourbon from what we bought it as. So we bought this as a 3-year-old aging bourbon out of a heavily charred American oak barrel. And we have since added some oak product to that has totally changed its finish. And so it's remarkably smooth. I've got a great sweet character out of it, and I'm pretty pleased with it.
I just realized, so for one, across the board, aromatically, the 90 proof you get more, which makes sense. I mean, you're going to be able to smell it and pick up a lot more notes and stuff. I just realized I should have asked this before. Which would you recommend I taste first, the 80 or the 90, or does it even matter?
It's going to be blind going forward. So he has no recommendation.
That's right. So use listening to get the tickets. It doesn't. You just try the left hand, try the blue cup, and then the red cup. It doesn't matter. But
I'd probably suggest that you try the lower proof first, because the higher proof is going to fatigue your palate more. So you're going to be going back and forth, but I think the logical is to try the lower proof first.
See, I wonder if you really got to do it blind, because in my mind, I feel like I've already made up in my head that the 90 I'm going to like better. But then again, I guess that's what I thought at first for that first round, and that
the
wasn't
one
case.
round I did 90 first.
Forgot the
I gave 90.
The last one was the lower proof, right? Did you agree with the 36%? You like the lower proof? We like the lower proof.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
No, I like the higher proof on the last one.
Last one you like the higher.
Really? Okay. So you switch it up.
But it's because 2 out of 3, so we'll take the 80.
I was like, well, with the last one, I mean, you got the well, like I said, there was kind of like a honeysuckle smell going on, but like when it settles on your tongue, there was like a just straight vanilla.
Yeah,
but you also mentioned the like astringency of it. Like, I'm someone who loves that feeling after you eat a bunch of sour candy.
Oh, really?
And the citric acid has dried your tongue out.
You like that?
So I would probably be in the minority. So I would not count my score on that one.
So that's exactly what I'm talking about. So for me, I hate that feeling. Like, I do not like sour stuff.
Oh, okay.
At all. But there are an enormous number of people that we encounter on the wine side.
And enormous people. Yeah, they really like that sour candy.
Anyway, there are a lot of people that really like that sensation and that feeling and that profile. And so if I were to just create a product that I love, it might not be what the people want. And so that's why it's important that we get this feedback from a larger group of people that say, like, hey man, I know you hate this, but we love it. There are examples today in a distillery where we make a product that I'm like, this is god awful. Like, I would be afraid to put my name on this. And my mom was like, well, hell, let me try it. And so she tried it, and it was like, this is phenomenal.
You can't argue with your mom.
I love it. Well, so the brandy that's in the bottles here is produced from white wine. I prefer brandy that's made from white wine. I think it's more floral. It's a little brighter. It's just my preference. We have run a bunch of red wine brandy, but to me, there's an underlying note of poached fruit. Like, if you were going to reduce a blueberry concoction on the stove for 3 hours and just boil it down.
It gets very jammy.
Very jammy. I don't like that at all. I don't like wine that's got that characteristic, really, and I don't like the booze. But give it to my mom, and she loves it because she loves that flavor profile. And so, there are things where sometimes you think, well, this isn't even something that I want to put my name on. That you find that other people love. And so you have to stay open-minded when you're producing a product and let people try it and find out if there's a demand for it, because there's a lot of instances where you think it's something won't sell that people can't get enough of.
Yeah.
As long as it's got good fundamentals, right? As long as it's good quality, it's but it just got a flavor profile that you don't care for. That's when you need to let people try it,
So we have 4 different kinds cut with the ABV and the proof on each of them. How many do you just have one barrel of each? How many barrels did you get of each concoction, and then all the different ones that you have?
Yeah, just one of each
So one of each, okay.
So
you got a whole barrel to work with to
yeah.
And then how many bottles are you getting out of each barrel? Because I guess
it'll depend on what we temper it to.
But that makes sense.
It should be around.
So if you do the 80, you're going to get a little bit more.
Right. So that's where the businessman in you is like, well, I hope people like the 80 because then we get to sell more of it.
Some more bottles.
Yeah. But if it's 90 proof and that's what people prefer, then you have smaller volume, but then you may have to adjust the price.
I say, you can charge a premium for that, though.
Well, maybe there is there's a ceiling to that, people, they may love it, but they don't want to spend
throw
that
the
kind of
sticker.
money.
Yeah.
Right.
You're going to scare folk away.
Yeah. And so at the end of it last year, we went way out on a limb. We didn't want to get into sourcing bourbon. We didn't want to sell a product that we didn't make. There was such a demand from people that they just want bourbon. They get off the interstate. We're 10th mile off the interstate. They're passing through. They're never going to come back to Dublin, Virginia. If they do, it'd be sporadic. And they come in and they say, "Hey, we love to find rare spirits. Do you have any bourbon?" And as soon as we said no, they walked right back out the door and got back in the car. So I just hate to lose that opportunity to make a sale. And so we drove to a number of different distilleries and tried product from Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky, Indiana, and we found that there were some bourbons and whiskeys that were phenomenal, and then we brought them home and we put them in bench trials with oak that had been in contact with brandy, and found that it made a remarkable difference in the flavor of that bourbon. And so we said, "Oh, you know what? If we can source a bourbon and finish it something that's very unique to us, that then we can."
It's the best of both worlds.
Right.
And you can put your stamp on it.
Yeah. And so, but, we wanted to be clear to the world that, like, hey, we didn't make this.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
You just made it better.
But yeah, that's where we came up with a salty old bastard. You don't know what he had. We're not just bourbon's daddy, but we're raising it. Yeah, that's what we tell people. So yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, but this wheaty bourbon, I really love. But the 90 or 80 proof, what do you prefer on it?
I'm gonna have to say, I was kind of going back and forth. I started with the 80 this time, which I think this is the first time I'd done that. And at first I was like, all right, that might be the way to go once I got to the 90. But then after going back and forth a couple times, I think the 80 it tastes too watered down in my opinion. I need that extra little.
The 90 kind of bursts on your tongue.
On the 90, yeah.
I will say overall, throughout all of the ones we've tried today, the one before this was my favorite.
Really?
This one
was the one that I was the only one to say 90 proof on.
Yeah.
Solid. I mean, it's all around solid. I'm not going to give. I would buy any of it.
Thank you.
Just flat out. It's a quality product.
Yes, I could drink all of them. I'm going 90 on this one. So that's what it is for the ryes. Maybe I'm not a rye guy, and the ryes I want a little bit easier on that and less of the pop. So that I think that's why it explains my voting for these trials.
Mm.
We're trying to justify our vote.
Yeah,
for you.
Yeah. No. So the other thing too is it makes it more versatile for the customer. So if you buy it at 90 proof, you can always water it down.
True.
But if you buy it at 80 proof, there's no making it higher ABV.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can get it to your liking.
That's a valid point. And that's the other thing is because most of the time, I mean, I always try anything I try new. I always want it neat, straight up, and then. Once you do that, you can decide, oh, I want to add a couple of drops of water, or I want to add an ice cube, or whatever the case may be. So that's another vote or a thinking process where, yeah, maybe you do want the 90 over. So something to consider. But,
I will say, though, like I would suggest both you guys rock mustaches that are so large that they catch the bourbon.
And then you
can go back and
try it again later. And then, or you get the mix of all.
Well, it atomizes it and warms it. I mean, it's like the perfect taste.
So I've been growing this facial hair since the last time you were here in anticipation of you coming on again.
Yeah.
Do you think I can get enough mustache to have bourbon? I don't think so.
I think you're at a good start.
So for those that aren't watching on the Facebook Live or the YouTube, Adam has a stash that will make anybody jealous, and I'm pretty sure
it's magnificent.
That's where the name sort of comes from in the regard of the salty stash.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said you almost your wife was trying to talk you into getting rid of it. So that's crazy to me.
Well, so she hates it, and so it comes and goes. Once the hostility reaches a
certain level
that I can't take it anymore, I'll shave it off, and then 6 to 8 weeks later we'll have it back.
See, it's the opposite for me. If I shave, my wife gets pissed.
Give me back my husband.
Yeah,
I think
she's
she
like,
said to me,
why the hell did you do that? Like, and usually it's Halloween. I got, if I got to shave it for Halloween or something, but not a fan when it's gone.
See,
she's
because you look
mad.
too young.
Yeah, I look like a child.
Yeah.
We have a
It's weird.
5-month-old. I don't think anyone's noticed at home.
that you haven't shaved.
That I haven't shaved. Doesn't help.
So, yeah, it's a weird thing. You know, I really love rocking a big mustache, and you wouldn't think this, but people treat you differently.
Oh, I'm sure. But
Sir,
also, I guess
they call you
you have
sir.
the kind of mustache that I feel like there's upkeep. Like you got to oil it and do all
Oh,
that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you know, that's
yeah.
kind of a pain in the
I'm
ass.
not really like the type of guy that likes to deal with like maintenance of things like this. You know, I just like to keep things low maintenance. But it does require a little bit of upkeep. It is pain. Yeah. But people look at you like you're crazy. Like they won't look at like in public if you're walking down the street and you've got a big mustache. I mean, they like turn their eyes like they're like, man, that dude's got a screw.
That dude's
I
weird.
don't, maybe I've got mustache envy. I don't know. Like that would command an air of like I think of Sam Elliott. Like
Yeah, you're
that
right.
man. Have you ever seen him clean shaven? That's unsettling.
Oh no.
Yeah, they
Oh,
sure.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
That would be
You
weird.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
It was a character on Parks and Rec. Not great.
No dice. Well,
I
I'll tell
made
you
a note
what.
here. So 90 proof was the consensus on the weeded. You like
Right?
that?
You agreed with the 90
Yes.
as well? Yeah, I feel like that one.
Yeah. I like it at 92.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing too is if you've had a lot of weedy bourbon, I get a real like I can't describe it, like a gluten bready aftertaste or finish, like well after you swallowed the sample. And in these, I don't really get that, which I think is remarkable.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you've
Well,
noticed that.
now you might need to give me a little more, and then I can confirm or deny if
You
that
guys
is in
finished
the
these
glass.
samples so
Of course,
fast.
dude. They're gone. This is
Spend so much time smelling.
we've been
Everything
chatting.
smells so good.
We've been chatting for 26 minutes. So yeah.
Oh, that's a record.
Yeah, it might be. So, but it's not only a record; it is a wrap on Brewsday Tuesday. But Adam, thank you so much. And again, I guess you don't know when, but people can do this. They just got to follow the social. The event will come up at some point. You can get yourself some tickets. I'm sure it'll be a whole lot of fun. And yeah, thank you so much for letting us get a little taste before the official record books. I guess we're maybe some of the first to be on there and have some notches and ideas of what might be coming in the world of the old salty bastard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a real pleasure. It's always nice to come talk to you guys.
Hey,
Thanks for the input.
Keep making good booze, and we'll keep getting the word out there and coming down there. And of course, what are the hours for the tasting room?
So yeah, the tasting room is open Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 6. And we're open Sunday, 1 to 5.
Get on down there to Dublin Exit 98 and say what's up to Adam.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's a wrap on Brewsday Tuesday. We'll take a quick break and we'll get back with the tunes right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.